What's going on, everybody? This is episode 6 of 413 Sportstalk. I'm Raheem Escalay. Let's get into it. For you, I have today some news from the NFL, a story in which I compared two wide receivers coming out of the first round in the NFL draft, local standings, some NBA news, and a whole lot more. Also, our huge celebration of National Women's Month, and that's the entirety of March. So, without further ado, let's get into it. First, I'd like to talk about my Springfield Four. Central, Putnam, SciTech, and Commerce. Let's go down the list here. Congratulations, first off, to the Central boys and girls. They're 7-0, both teams respectively. They're well coached. The Central boys, in particular, score a lot. So it's no wonder they're 7-0. And in Western Mass, I don't think there's a team out there that can mess with them, really, honestly. So shout out to the Central Boys and Girls Club for both the Central Boys and Girls Golden Eagles basketball team for staying undefeated thus far. The Putnam boys are 4-3. The girls are 5-4. SciTech, the boys are 2-3. Girls are 2-4. And to the delight of all my Central Golden Eagles fans, Commerce is 0-7. So, let's get into the news that I have for you. J.J. Watt, 2-year deal, $31 million with the Arizona Cardinals. I honestly think he should have went back to his home state and became a Packer. But, a weird move and go to Arizona. Everything's weird out there. I don't really get that. Another move that happened in the NFL that was a head-scratcher. Just because of who's on the roster. The Washington football team released former comeback player of the year, quarterback Alex Smith. He came back from an injury that no one thought he could. And I think before he kind of got a little nicked up again, Washington was good. They were good before he had that gruesome knee injury. And with who they have on their roster, I don't understand this move. Should have looked at maybe I don't know. Maybe they have something in the cards. But it's just a head scratcher. Like you see, I can barely talk about it. I think they should have kept him. I think down the road, also too, another decision that organization is going to regret is releasing Dwayne Haskins. The Steelers signed him, and I believe he's going to stay on the roster. A couple years from now, Big Ben's going to be gone, so Dwayne's going to have his act together. He's going to be fit, and he's a fucking specimen. Excuse my French. So I wonder about the decision making and everything with the Washington football team. But with the new regime in, there's a lot of hope for the future. So let's hope they get it together. What else? What do I have for you? Now I want to get into this comparison. We're comparing Devontae Smith, wide receiver from Alabama, and Jamar Chase, a wide receiver from LSU. Now, I know there's a little bit of bias here, and I know some people are going to have something to say about this because Jamar Chase sat out the entire 2020 season. So he opted out to prepare for the NFL draft, finish up school, and COVID concerns as well. So, let's get into the comparison. In 2019, Jamar Chase had a year of years. He won the Biletnikoff Award for the best wide receiver and the national championship in the same season. As you know, and I already mentioned, that he opted out of the 2020 NCAA season to prepare for the draft. He was clear-cut the number one wideout. There was nobody else in where we're in 2019 right now. There was nobody else that did what he did. And then came Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith broke just about every single season mark that Jamar Chase set the year before Joe Burrow's senior year. As you know, they won the national championship. With a 117 catch season, 1,827 yards, and 23 touchdowns. Those are insane numbers. And this is no Cliff Kingsbury, Mike Leach, throw it 96% of the time type offense. Alabama is a pro-style offense. And Devontae Smith, being as small as he is, to put up those numbers says a lot. I think he's going to be... it's one of the greats that you see on Sunday, making spectacular catches, making guys miss with different shakes and jukes. So yes, Devontae Smith with his year became the 4th wide receiver in history to win the Heisman Award, and he was the 2nd to have 2 national championship rings. So he's got that to his credit. When I compare the two, Devontae Smith, because he's small, has to make a lot of his catches in space. So a lot of the catches Devontae Smith gets they're not as the routes develop. He gets a lot of those. Like when we hike it, and then the little touch pass, the run by, the jet sweeps, the touch passes, the dink dunk passes, and he takes those and it's one cut and he's gone. Kind of like what Jerry Jeudy did when he was in college. Another Alabama receiver. Wow, they're masters with the cuts. So he's not gonna wow you with those Randy Moss type of grabs or any physical contested type of grabs. All his catches are designed. So I think when you compare him to Jamar Chase, when you decipher who's better, Jamar Chase is kind of a lankier body, uses his hands to catch. He's not going to wow you with his speed. He doesn't have a plethora of moves to get you at the line. But what Jamar Chase is very good at is contested catches. He's extremely physical, and he's just an all-hands type of guy. And I know it's kind of weird, that's contrast, because I say physical, and he's a hands type of guy, but it's just he uses both to an extraordinary fashion. Devontae Smith beat just about everybody. There's been a lot of defensive backs taken in the first rounds of the NFL drafts the last 2-3 years. And Devontae Smith torched all of them. Jamar Chase makes a case with the people he's beaten. J.C. Horn out of South Carolina, who's hopeful in this year's upcoming draft. C.J. Henderson, starting corner for the Jacksonville Jaguars, was taken 10th overall last year. A.J. Terrell, in the 2019, it was 2020, but the 2019 season year, the national championship, Jamar Chase abused A.J. Terrell during that whole game. And I think, that was his last performance. It was huge, and it cemented his first round consideration. And to me, if you're a wide receiver can't beat top competition, then why would you waste your pick on him? If you can beat these 1 or 2 star defensive backs that are coming from schools in East to whatever, that can't run or cover to save their lives. You can beat them. That's something. But I think when you beat top competition in the country, it really helps you stand out. Jamar Chase, in my other opinion of watching his tape, he's better on fade routes, stretches, longer type plays, unlike Devontae Smith, who gets the catches in the trenches, the little short passes. Jamar Chase is really the intermediate to longer route guy, the one you look for the home run. So it's going to be interesting to see where he goes, if he goes where I predicted, and see what happens. A little more on those wide receivers. And I know it's LSU guy, but you have to compare. If you're a watcher of tape, you have to compare Jamar Chase to Odell. The types of catches they make, the contested catches, the physical body, but also the great hands. You definitely compare him to Odell. Devontae Smith. I honestly have never seen any wideout move like him. I've played the game forever, watched the game forever. So smooth, and he's in and out of his cut so nice and professionally, and it's not sloppy at all. If there's anyone I could compare him to, definitely not in size, but in the way that he's elusive and his cuts and his strides, I'd have to definitely say Marvin Harrison, the quiet guy from the Indianapolis Colts. So Devontae Smith is quick, fast, explosive. He's going to put fear in anyone lining up against him on the other side. Jamar Chase eventually, I think, is going to do the same thing, but wide receivers have to develop. He's going to excel in posts, streaks, flies, stuff like that. But depending on where he lands, he's going to have to develop, I think. Devontae Smith going to the Dolphins, teaming up with his old college buddy Tua. I think that's what's going to happen, and I think Devontae makes an impact immediately. Jamar Chase, the one thing that I can't stand about him, other than all his good stuff, he lacks top-end speed. He's not really a fast guy. I think it was like a 4.46. So it's going to be interesting to see. Most of his targets are going to be contested if he's not a burner. So Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, who do you pick? Comment, let me know. And moving on to this next section of the show. It's March, National Women's Month. I scoured sports for a while the other day, doing research, and instead of saying instead of I don't know. We're separated by sexes, men and women. I just tried to look at it, feel, and write what I wrote from a human standpoint, because she's a human. The first woman I've honored for National Women's Month is none other than Cheryl Swoops, the Texas Tech product, the best female to ever touch a basketball. Cheryl Swoops. Wait a minute. Why was she the best to ever touch, the best girl to ever play ball? Let's backtrack to 1993. I was 5 years old. She was a Texas Tech Lady Red Raider. Let's just go off the list of her accomplishments. Just for 1993 alone. She's a pioneer, record holder, and excuse me, I think she never got the credit she deserved. So let's go through this. 1993, Cheryl Swoops and the Texas Tech Lady Red Raiders won the 93 National Championship. She averaged, during the tournament, 28 points a game. During the 93 season, her jersey was also retired. March 13th, 1993. Wow, we're getting ready to come up on that date. Isn't that so funny? She holds a record in the NCAA tournament for a single game scoring, which was 53 points. Also in 93, her 955 total points in the season were fourth. She also has the highest championship tournament scoring average. In the 93 tournament, she averaged as a whopping 36 points a game. She had the best single game championship scoring in history, with 47 points versus Ohio State in 1993. The most field goals in a championship game with 16. Drafted in 1997 by the Houston Comets, she stayed with the team for a decade. Played after that with the Seattle Storm for 3 years, and finished her career in 2011 with the Tulsa Shock. Since then, and she coached Mercer High School in Chicago, 2009-2010. Then went on to coach the Loyola women's basketball team from 2013 to 2016. And from 2017 on, she has been the Texas Tech Lady Red Raiders assistant. She is the best to ever play in the WNBA. I like what she's doing, staying involved in the sport. And this upcoming season, the NCAA Women's Final Four tournament, for the first time ever, is breaking out. This year it's going to be a 64-team bracket. I'm so hyped I can barely sit still. To see that the women's side of basketball evolve into something so huge, it's amazing. I can't wait. We're a little over a week away from both tournaments commencing, so it's going to be exciting to see the men's in, but more so the women's, because this is the first time it's been this big. So, and the relevance with Cheryl Swoops in that is that she sat down with the NCAA committee right before the coronavirus popped off, and she was integral in those talks happening. So, shout outs to you, Cheryl Swoops. I love you. I've always been a fan. And continue doing what you're doing. A little add-on, I'm sorry. She was a 3-time WNBA MVP, 2000, 2002, 2005, 2-time WNBA scoring champ, 02 and 05, and 3-time she was a WNBA Defensive Player of the Year. That's crazy. Who else has multiple awards like that in the same season? Go ahead, I'll wait. That's Cheryl Swoops. Some NBA scores. We're going to move on to the men's. NBA. The Milwaukee Bucks beat the Clippers 105 to 100. The Bulls and the Raptors game was postponed. The Miami Heat beat the Hawks, finally, 109 to 99. My Lakers beat the Golden State Warriors 117 to 91. LeBron James went for 24, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Curry 26, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals. Kind of had the same performance. Celtics finally getting a win, but barely beating the Wizards 111-110. The Knicks, who have surprised me all year. My whole entire existence, they've sucked until now. Let's not jinx them, though. They get the win over the Detroit Pistons 109 to 90. Memphis Grizzlies take the Houston Rockets 133 to 84. The Phoenix Suns 118, Minnesota Timberwolves 99. The Charlotte Hornets beat the Sacramento Kings 127-126. Those Charlotte Hornets look good, especially when they run that fast break. LaMelo Ball is sensational. Lonzo, yeah, you're a bum compared to your brother. So, I believe that's all I have for you for episode 6. Moving on, episode 7, I have a new segment called 32 and 16. So what that's about is, in 16 days, I am going to break down the NFL by division in its entirety. We're going to go over strengths, weaknesses, draft, last year's record, and my prediction for this upcoming season. What else do I have? Episode 7, I have my final MLB preview. You don't want to miss that. And got some big stuff in the upcoming week. And I can't wait till you guys see it. Questions, comments, thoughts, reactions, input. Please feel free to let me know. Send us a message on 413sportstalk at gmail.com, 413sportstalk on Facebook, or if you happen to see me in Springfield, pull me aside and let's have a chat. I love you all. I hope you enjoy your day. This was 413 Sports Talk, episode 6. I just spilled my juice. Have a good day, guys.